have to play with that one.
Radio check, Fox.
Lima Charlie 1, ready on Victor.
Radio check, Victor.
5-5. Good. We'll divert from the checklist again today, which is becoming the new norm, and we'll go through some more academics here in the chalk. So get your lights, IFC, TICU, MFCDs up, and start the alignment. We'll stop short of starting the motors.
Yeah, copy. I'll let you know when ready. Okay, all systems up and alignment is started. Ready to copy.
Great. Here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with some useful options in the HUD setup, then we're going to move on to creating our flight plan. We'll briefly cover the waypoints and attributes, then we'll then take off and continue with other stuff like checking the attribute behavior in flight, playing with the HSI, creating mark points, and last but not least, changing the Jaeger point. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Alright, the HUD, I assume you have already finished the fit and switched on your IFC. You now use the HUD in one of 5 modes that can be changed by pressing the Master Mode control button on your stick.
A-firm, navigation, guns, CCIP, CCRP, and air-to-air.
Good. Don't get carried away with the air-to-air part though, as we'll be training on that mode in one of our upcoming sorties.
Great. Can't wait.
Let's first get back to the basics, shall we? Go ahead and push that IFC button back into the test or middle position, please.
Done.
Okay, you'll notice that the HUD has changed. It is now displaying a series of menus. You can use these to configure the IFC system. In order to navigate through them, you'll use the UFC. With me so far?
Yes, ready to move on.
So the select rocker switch changes the line selection up and down. Data cycles the line selection, and enter lets you select the line option. Go ahead and see how it works, and let me know when you're ready to move on.
I'm ready.
Let's move from the top to the bottom of the list while going a bit deeper into some of the more useful options. First line, called CCIP Consent Option, lets you choose the CCIP Consent to Release mode, which we'll cover more in detail when we get to drop some bombs.
Copy.
Next line is called BIT, or Built-in Test Menu. It is used to test several chosen IFC subsystems or all of them at once, like you already did in your normal startup.
Alright.
Third line is called AAS, or the air-to-air submenu. We will get into more details on the air-to-air training I mentioned before, but for now, suffice it to say that you use this menu to alter and select the gun funnel for air-to-air combat by using either presets or manual settings.
Copy. The gun must be totally devastating to air targets.
Oh yeah. Did you read about Captain Bob Swain, the guy who scored the first air-to-air kill with the Avenger back in 1991, described hitting the Iraqi helo with 300 rounds?
Nope. What did he say?
That it looked like if the helicopter was hit by a bomb. They tried to ID what he destroyed afterwards, but it was blown into such tiny pieces that it was impossible. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Wow. Okay.
We now get to the weapons menu, which is used to set the parameters of your 30 mic. This will typically be done by the ground crew you want the release data parameters to automatically scroll in your HUD, or if you want to have the option to scroll through them manually.
Okay. Is that ever even used?
I don't, but I know a couple of guys that do. It's purely personal preference.
Gotcha. What does the display mode do?
Now this one's very useful and we'll go through the option in a more detailed way. Please select this line and press enter. Ready?
Yep, ready.
This menu is basically used to set up what is displayed on your HUD and how. So the first option lets you decide whether you want to see the release data on your HUD or not.
Copy. Similar to what was in weapons mode?
Exactly. The second line, called CCIP Gun Cross Occult, lets you decide whether you want the TDD to hide behind the CCIP Gun Cross in order to declutter the HUD. If you do, you have to select yes.
Raj.
The next two are pretty straightforward. You can choose to have tapes displayed on both sides of the HUD alongside the values for your speed and altitude. You can also switch between metric and imperial values for both.
Okay, copy. Pretty handy when working with allies that mainly use metric.
Indeed. Next you have the radar altitude tape, which allows you to display the altitude measured by radar in the form of a tape.
Alright, got it.
Now we get to another pretty useful option, which you probably remember from yesterday. The choice of speed displayed. Do you want me to go over it once again, or do you prefer to move on?
I'm okay. Let's move on.
Alright, the last option is the one marked for vertical velocity, which will allow you to display the vertical velocity scale on the left side of the HUD.
And what about IFF?
You won't ever need to touch it. Okay, please navigate to exit and press enter to return to the previous menu.
Okay, back at the main menu.
Good. The next two options are used by the sweaty, so we're not going to go over those. Finally, the GCAS training helps you set up a false ground plane to practice exactly that. Ground collision avoidance, but at a safe altitude. And that's all there is to it. Go ahead and switch the IFC button back into normal mode, please.
Alright, thanks. Ready to move on.
Good. We've spent enough time on the ground already. Let's finish the startup procedure. Once you're good to go, contact ground and get us taxi clearance.
Copy. Stand by. Stand by on ground.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Nellis ground. Tusk 1 is 2 A10s at Thunder with Kilo. Ready taxi.
Tusk 1, taxi Charlie, Golf Alpha, hold short 03 right.
Taxi Charlie, Golf Alpha. Hold short 03 right. Tusk 1. One's taxi out. 1, holding short, 03 right, push to tower frequency.
Quickly, Wilson Creek to Milford and Delta.
Nellis Tower, Tusk 1 flight, holding short, runway 03 right, ready for departure.
Tusk 1 Nellis Tower, wind is 230 for 05, cleared for takeoff 03 right.
Clear for takeoff, 03 right, Tusk 1.
Tusk 1, contact departure.
Tusk 1, contacting departure. Nellis departure, Tusk 1 flight with you, looking to turn 248 over truck stop.
Tusk 1, Nellis departure, radar contact. Climb to 6,000, turn left for 248 at truck stop.
Left turn for 248 over truck stop for Tusk 1. turn for 248 over truck stop for Tusk 1.
Tusk 1, cleared to resume on navigation.
Cleared for on navigation, Tusk 1.
Departure route that we're flying can be pretty standard for the rest of our time here. It's also pretty easy to fly. Just follow the northern edge of town over to Highway 95, then turn northeast and follow it up into the NCR.
Roger. This is pretty close to the Fighter 3 departure, correct?
Stay firm, that's exactly correct. Okay, Kermit, well done. Since we'll be doing some training on waypoints and air attributes, we might want to add some extra ones for that and set them up as a new flight plan.
Alright, sounds good.
Let's climb to Angel 10 and get clear of Vegas airspace. Then we'll find a nice spot to anchor and work on these waypoints.
Roger that.
Also, please remember to keep between 250 and 270 knots indicated throughout the whole flight. We have a lot of things to cover and we wouldn't want to miss any waypoints as we're talking.
Warning, autopilot.
Alright, I feel comfortable enough to ask now. What's the story with your call sign?
You first.
Fair enough. So, Kermit is obviously a reference to the frog from the kids' show. Why this innate ability to attract rather hefty women for some inexplicable reason. It never fails. Every time I go out to the bar, some fat chick is bound to hit on me. As you know, Kermit is constantly being chased after by Miss Piggy. So there you go. It was an easy kill.
That's awesome.
So, you were about to tell me about yours?
Right, so BIF is an acronym for Big Inbred Farming Fucker. I grew up in rural Kansas on a farm. That plus chewing and being into hunting, fishing, and other redneck shit apparently means I'm inbred. Then there's the fact that apparently I look like Biff from Back to the Future.
God, I see it now.
What's that, the inbred part or looking like Biff?
Yes.
You'd better be careful. You need me to sign off on your training. I'd hate for you to get washed out and wind up on Preds or some shit.
Ooh, that's not even funny.
Off to the west here, you'd be hard to miss Mount Charleston, or more accurately, Charleston Peak, at a shade under 12,000 feet.
Where was it?
It's going to be off to the west, your left side.
That's, your Air Force left? Still not seeing it.
Dude, look out of the canopy to the left. Look for all of the green. Ha-ha.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. You were saying?
I was saying it's not too late to get you into an MQ-1. So the big conspicuous mountain off your left side is a really nice place to visit. There's a neat restaurant to grab some lunch at and some more fun roads to drive around on.
Yeah, it looks really pretty, with trees and everything.
Yeah, most of those are bristlecone pines, and they can live to be over 5,000 years old. They're really something. Also, it's usually much cooler up there, which is a nice change of pace in summer. And there's also a ski resort open when there's enough snow.
I'll have to head up there one of these days. How long is the drive to get up there?
That's not too bad. From the front gate, maybe an hour up and an hour back. I forgot to mention it, but there's also a lot of really nice hiking trails up there.
Good deal. I love hiking.
We're coming up to Creech here, and Creech is mostly used for RPAs like MQ-1 Predators and MQ-9 Reapers.
They do pilot training for them up here, right?
Yep, that's correct. Sometimes you can catch the Batwing operating up here, and the Thunderbirds practice just to the north.
The Batwing?
Yeah, the Lockheed RQ-170 stealth drone flying wing thing.
Ah, okay. Now I'm tracking.
They also operate a lot of rotoring out of here for the various flags and exercises.
That makes sense, being a bit closer to the ranges and stuff.
Exactly. Alright, Kermit, we're going to be heading into the NCR for the first time today. We'll need to contact Blackjack and get clearance into and out of the airspace. I'll handle those calls. This is our first time heading up there. Go 377.8, stand by.
377.8, copy. And one is up.
Blackjack, Tusk 1.
Tusk 1, Blackjack, sending.
Tusk 1 is going to be a true ship of A10s near Creech at Angel 10, looking for entry for a local familiarization flight.
Tusk cleared and JO dispersed. All ranges should be cleared.
Cleared for entry, Tusk 1. So, we have a nice long flight plan for today, which we are going to follow meticulously, because we're going to be close to some restricted areas. I'll point out some of the highlights around the NCCR, but we also need to do some training. And for that, I want you to create another flight plan that we will use only for training.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Alright, first use your autopilot and put your plane in a right-hand orbit. When ready, please press the waypoint button on the CDU or on the USD. Also, make sure that you have the CDU repeater up on one of your MSDs.
Yeah, done.
Before we get too far, it's worth noting that if you see a CDU input error message or fat finger a key as you type in, just hit clear or backspace and press on.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm sure I'll be pretty familiar with those keys.
We have a series of waypoints already in the CDU that constitute our current flight plan. But let's add some more that we will use to build a new flight plan and work on other waypoint attributes.
Sure.
Alright, so before you set out on the extremely interesting journey through the CDU and waypoint creation, I will explain all the basics to you. After that, I want you to use the information from your keyboard to fill in the rest of the flight plan.
Okay.
There are several ways of creating new waypoints, but for now, we'll cover the two most common ones, MTRS and lat long. So first, please confirm that you're looking at the waypoint page on the CDU and that the AAP steer dial is set to other. Alternatively, you can set the AAP page to waypoint and then select the waypoint branch from the waypoint menu page.
A-firm. Waypoint page is set.
Now, the first thing we need to do is create a new waypoint. Locate the question mark 11 entry on the 7th line on the right-hand side, and press the corresponding line select.
Yep, done.
Good. You've created your first waypoint. Now that that's created, we need to fill in the important stuff by filling in its properties. Let's start with the name, then we'll give it its coordinates.
Okay.
Since we'll use this for training, let's call it Train 1. Go ahead and type that in and press OSB 7 next to MSN 011 text on the top right-hand side of the screen.
Waypoint 1 now has its name.
Good. Now all you need to do is tell the CDU where it's located. Check your native board and find the lat long coordinates for waypoint train 1.
Yeah, got it. 3742 00 North, 116 1104 West.
Check if line 9 on the CDU shows L/L as the chosen coordinate system. If not, press the OSB or line select key next to it to select the lat long mode.
Done.
Alright, we're good to go. Type in the latitude coordinates, north, followed by 374200 on your keyboard, no spaces, and then hit the OSB 17 or line select 3 left. We'll see those numbers are now introduced into the system.
to set.
Now do the same for longitude. One important thing is that you will have to use 8 characters as opposed to the 7 given for latitude. So input switch 116 1104 and let me know once that's in.
Coordinates are in.
Great. Next we'll set up the waypoint altitude for 10,000.
Elevation set.
Okay, so now that you have the first waypoint, let's create another one together. But you'll be alone from this point onward.
Okay, doesn't seem too complicated.
Good. Go ahead and press OSB 9 again to add another waypoint. Disregard. I forgot to tell you about this option called copy to available mission point. It creates a new waypoint using the same coordinates and elevation as the one you have currently selected. Let's play with that function, so please do that now.
Okay, new waypoint created.
For this waypoint, we'll use MGRS coordinates, but first let's change its name from the default MSN 012 to Train 2. Let me know when you've done that.
Okay, Train 2 is set.
Now change the system from lat long to UTM by pressing OSB 10 or right line select key 4.
Done.
Okay, you'll notice one additional line appearing on the left side of your CDU screen. In order to use the MGRS coordinates, you first need to make sure that you have introduced a correct UTM grid, which consists of 2 numbers and a letter. So for Nevada, this would be 11 Sierra. Type it in your keypad and press OSB 17 or left line select key 3.
Okay, done.
Good. Now for the coordinates. It always consists of 2 letters and between 4 and 10 digits. The more digits you introduce, the more precise the waypoint designation will be. Just go ahead and type in both letters and 10 digits for Train 2 as listed in the keyboard.
Okay, done.
Sweet. Now check for correct elevation. Should still be 10,000 feet. And once you've done that, go ahead and add all the remaining waypoints using either UTM or the lat long system, whichever you prefer. Give me a shot when you're ready and we'll build a flight plan out of them.
Copy, we'll go. All the waypoints are now in the CDU, ready to move on.
Alright, let's exit the orbit and set waypoint 3 as our steer point.
Done.
Before we get to working on that flight plan, off to the right you can see the Nevada test site, now known as the Nevada National Security Site and its main crater. This is where we used to test our nuclear weapons.
Yeah. Wow, it looks like the moon. All of those from nukes?
Yep, from 1951 until 1992 they detonated almost 930 weapons there. 100 were above ground atmospheric tests, and the remainder were underground tests. They tested all kinds of stuff there and looked at using weapons for civilian purposes like mining and earth moving.
There's so many craters. It's pretty surreal.
Yeah, I know.
So, just over the mountains there, to the east, is, Groom. Aren't they downwind from the site? That's not a problem.
From what I've read out of an awful book, and according to some of the guys I know who used to work there were occasions where sometimes fallout would get a little dicey, so they'd restrict operations and whatnot. But then there's the whole St. George and Conquer conspiracy.
Okay, bring me up to speed on that.
St. George, Utah is like 140 miles downrange from the NTS, and they have an elevated incidence of certain types of cancers attributable to nuclear testing. Things like leukemia, lymphoma, and thyroid cancers, just to name a few. Well, they shot this movie called The Conqueror, starring John Wayne near there in the early 50s. The story goes that they were doing some test shots here at the NTS during the filming, and a bunch of people that were there on set died from cancer in the years after.
Damn.
Yeah, not our proudest moment. Right, back to work. Now we're ready to build a flight plan using the waypoints which we have introduced earlier. Get our current steer point on the nose and set the autopilot to altitude heading hold mode.
Okay, done. So is this the default mode of operations during most of the missions? I mean, keeping it in flight plan mode?
Yes, especially during the ingress-egress, or until we need to exploit something one of the other modes gives us. Flight plan shows us the entire route with waypoints connected by a green line, which helps you make sure that you're not wandering off someplace you're not supposed to be, like into a Samwes or across the border.
Raj, okay. I'm ready to continue.
Right on. So first, a few words of introduction. To enter the flight plan mode, make sure that your A select switch is set to other, and a gear page is on the flight plan. Remember that you can have up to 20 flight plans, each consisting of up to 40 waypoints.
Ready.
Next, go ahead and enter the flight plan page by either pressing the FPM button on the CPU or function, then 5 on the UFC. Let me know when you've done that.
Done.
Okay, you'll see that there is already one flight plan stored in the CPU. It was prepared during the mission planning phase and was uploaded from the DCS, together with the loadout information and other information when you hit load all. However, it is important that you know how to create one for yourself independent of the DCS.
Alright, that makes sense.
The page should now be showing us the 01 auto MSN in the top and 02 new FP in the bottom line. First, we need to enter the name of the new flight plan in the scratch pad. Let's call it train. Once you have typed that, please press the lowest left line select key or OSB 16 in order to create a new flight plan. Let me know when you've done that.
Okay, train flight plan created.
Good. You should now be back at the main flight plan page, and your new plan is listed next to number 02. Press the second left line select key or OSB 18. You will set train as your active flight plan. By pressing it again, you can cycle between manual or automatic cycling of our waypoints as we pass them. All we need to do now is to add the waypoints to our flight plan.
Okay, how do I do that?
Press the flight plan build line select key next to the flight plan you want to modify. So in this case, flight plan 2. To add a waypoint to the open flight plan, enter the number or the name of the waypoint you wish to add using either the CPU or USB keypad. Type train 1 for the name, and let me know when you're ready to press on.
Done. CDU has even suggested train 1 as a waypoint.
Cool. Now press the second line select key on the left or OSB 18 next to 01.
Done.
Perfect. Go ahead and add the remaining 3 waypoints to the flight plan in the order listed in the knee board. Give me a heads up when you're finished.
The flight plan is now set.
Good. Take a look at your TAD, and you should see that your flight plan has formed a rectangle over Coyote Delta. However, it is still open on the eastern side. To close it, please add train 1 as your 5th waypoint to the flight plan, and let me know once that's done.
Okay, the rectangle's closed. Why would I want to create such a plan? Like a patrol pattern?
This one is useful if you're assigned to a kill zone and you want to be sure that you stay within it. And we'll use this one to learn more about waypoint attributes in a later part of the story. For now, switch back to the main flight plan and continue towards the Tonopah. We're coming up on the Tonopah Test Range Airfield. You can see it off the nose now. I know it's interesting, but don't forget to turn towards waypoint 5, okay?
Raj and visual. This place has some pretty interesting history, yeah?
For sure. Most recently, it's where most of the F-117s were brought when they were retired, and there's rumors of other things happening around these parts if you smell what I'm stepping in.
Yeah, copy.
Back in the mid-70s, they also moved the 4477 Tactical Evaluation Squadron, or Red Eagles, and their MiGs up here. I think the Tonopah will always be best known for the F-117 program, though.
I agree. So, back to the Red Eagles. What types of aircraft were they supposed to have flown out of here?
Pretty much all of the Russian-designed fighters built up into the 80s. So we've got MiG-17s, 19s, 21s, 23s, 25s, and 29s. The SU-22 supposedly was there also, and some Chinese variants of Russian aircraft like the J-6, and even an F-7.
Wow, that's quite a collection.
Yes, indeed. If you get the chance, pop by the threat training facility or petting zoo over by the Red Flag building while you're here. You can't miss it, as there's an SA-8 parked out front. In any event, if you end up dropping by, they have a MiG-29 and MiG-23 inside the building that you can climb up into. And outside they have all kinds of armor and a few choppers. Pretty cool little spot if you have some time to waste.
Sounds like it. I'll have to head over there and check it out one of these days.
Kermit, stand by. I might have a situation here.
Roger. Something serious?
Yeah, my HSI just went Tango uniform on me. Let's orbit here for a moment.
Standing by.
Okay, my HSI is definitely bent. I won't be able to guide us through the rest of the mission. Give me a few minutes, I'll contact Dallas and get our squadron and maintenance guys on the line.
Roger.
This is 2. Seems it's our lucky day. We've got a small detachment of our own guys who are in Tonopah for the upcoming Red Flag. Could land there and get this thing fixed in no time. They say it shouldn't take them no more than 45 minutes to swap it out and auto check it.
Good news indeed.
Yep, and we'll be able to continue with our mission and stay on schedule. I'll just have to make a few calls to the range guys when we're on the ground.
Copy all.
Okay, switch to 257.9er for Silver Bow Tower, and let me know when you're there.
One is on 257.9er.
Roger, Wilco, Tuss 1-2.
Anchoring at current position, Tusk 1-1.
Okay, Kermit, I'll see you on the ground.
Roger. Silver Bow, Tusk 1-1, 5 miles out for runway 32, full stop.
Tusk 1-1, Silver Bow, clear to land, runway 32. The winds are 030 at 10.
Clear to land, runway 32, Tusk 1-1.
Silver Bow, Tusk 1-2, 5 miles out for runway 32, full stop.
Tusk 1-2, Silver Bow, clear to land, runway 32. The winds are 030 at 10.
Clear to land, runway 32, Tusk 1-2.
Tusk 1-1, Silver Bow, contact tower with 5 miles out.
Tusk 1-1, Wilco.
Altitude, altitude.
Tusk 1-1, contact ground at 127.25.
Ground at 127.25, Tusk 1-1. Ground, Tusk 1-1 is with you at Charlie.
Tusk 1-1, taxi Foxtrot, Bravo to Bravo ramp, Enter revetment Golf 02.
Taxi Foxtrot, Bravo to Bravo ramp, Golf 02, Tusk 11.